Salve to Discipuli. This is Magistra Buddy, and this flipped lesson is going to be all about hic and ille from stage 19. Make sure that you memorize these charts. They can be a bit difficult to memorize, but if you take some time to study them, you'll realize there are actually some patterns here that we are used to. The first three, hic, haec, hoc, well, those are very different. Huius is very different. Huic is also very different, but these are all the same across the genders. The hunk for the masculine singular and the accusative at least has the U. The honk has the A, which is very common in the feminine. And then hoc right here is the same as the neuter nominative singular because the neuter nominative and accusative are always the same. The ablative singular, we get to see a little bit of a pattern that we're more accustomed to. We've got an accented O for the masculine, accented A for the feminine, accented O for the masculine. In the nominative plural, we have an accented I. In the feminine plural, we have an AE, and the nominative plural is just bizarre. For the genitive plurals, we have aurum, aurum, and aurum, something we're used to. For the dative and the ablative plurals, it's all is, like we're used to. For the accusative plural, it's os, like we're used to, os, like we're used to. Haec is, again, bizarre, except it is, again, neuter, so it's the same in the nominative and the accusative. Ille, thankfully, follows pattern a little bit more. The E is a little odd, but here we have an A, just like many of our feminines. Illid is a little odd, but thankfully the nominative and the accusative in the neuter are the same. The eus is a little bizarre, but it's the same as this one over here, other than the fact that this one's accented. Accented I in the dative singular, we've seen that in the third declension. Here we have for the accusative singular, for the accusative singular, very familiar. Accented O, accented A, accented O, very familiar. Accented I for the nominative plural, AE for the nominative plural in the feminine, and A for the nominative plural in the neuter. These are all very familiar endings. And the familiarity continues with the genitive plural, aurum, aurum, aurum. In the dative and the ablative plural, we have is for all of them. For the accusative plural, we have os, os, and a. So many of the first and second declension adjective endings show up here with some differences. The best way to remember how to translate these, hic, haec, and hoc. If it's singular, you translate it as this. If it's plural, you translate it as these. Think of it as the one that is closest to you. It's the one that's right here. Here starts with an H, so does hic, haec, and hoc. The other one is over there. So ille, illa, or illid would be that one over there, or those ones over there. So it has to do with proximity. Is it this one right here that's close to you, or is it that one over there that's far away from you? So some rules: demonstrative pronouns point out or show a noun. And it's just like the Latin word demonstro, demonstrare, which means to point out or show. So there's a connection there. Just like adjectives, a demonstrative pronoun will match its antecedent in case, number, and gender. If it is not modifying a noun, assume an appropriate noun such as man, woman, or thing. Just like any other adjective, it can stand alone. It's what we call a substantive adjective. So let's do some practice. Pause the video for a moment, copy down this sentence, and label it, translate it, underline the demonstrative pronoun, and draw an arrow to its antecedent. All right, so you will see that haec is nominative, feminine, singular. Therefore, it's modifying cana. Cana is the subject, est is a linking verb, optima is a subject complement. So this dinner is the best. Latrones is the subject. Illum is it is masculine accusative singular, so it's modifying mercatorum, which is also masculine accusative singular, and therefore our direct object, and vituperant is our verb. Translates: the thugs are cursing that merchant. Illum is that, merchant is the direct object. All right, next sentence, pause the video, copy it down, and mark it up. So we have, we have two here. So haec It can be 3 different things, and it's right next to templa, which can be 2 different things. Templa can be, because it's neuter, it can be nominative or accusative plural. So we need to look for other clues in the sentence, and our other clue in the sentence here is the verb, laudabamus. We, because of the mus, we is the subject of the verb, forcing templa into its other option, the direct object. So hike is going with templa, the direct object, laudabamus is the verb. Ille is another demonstrative. It is also modifying a neuter noun, eideficia, which is the direct object, because again, we is the subject of the verb. Oop, these are all out of alignment a little bit. So videre is the complementary infinitive, known is an adverb, pateramos is the verb, so that translates as, we were praising these temples. We were not able to see those buildings. All right, next sentence, pause the video, copy it down, mark it up. Serwi is nominative masculine plural, so is he. So he is modifying serwi, that's our subject. Sunt is a linking verb, Aegypti is our subject complement. These slaves are Egyptian. Nope, there's my other arrow. All right, a little bit more practice. All right, pause the video, copy it down. Plancus is nominative singular masculine, so it's our subject. Monumentum is a neuter noun. It could be nominative or accusative, but since we already have one that has to be nominative, it's forced into its other option, which is the direct object. It's accusative, so is illid, and demonstravit is a verb. So Plancus pointed out that monument. Illid is that, and it's modifying monument. Here we have Galatia as the subject. UNM is masculine accusative singular, so is hunk. So hunk is modifying UNM. We have complementary infinitive and our main verb. So Galatia wanted to move this should say this young man. Illa poeta aristonum vexat. So poeta is the subject, aristonum is the direct object, vexat is the verb. Ille is masculine nominative singular, so is poeta. You may think that it's feminine because it's first a declension, but remember most professions are masculine even if they show up in the first declension. So that poet annoys Aristo. And our last one here, illa nobis locum servavit. Okay, so illa, masculine nominative singular, but there are no other masculine nominative singulars in the sentence for it to be modifying. So this is what we were talking about at the beginning with it could be substantive. So here we just translate it as he or that man. That man over there saved a spot for us. So he, that man, saved a place for us. Salve te discipuli.